We are live and it's show enough living color. Man, that almost went bad. I went to go live, and for whatever reason, the camera decided to, or the phone decided to say yes, made for kids, and I gotta make sure that did not pop up, because this is not made for kids. This movie is not made for kids. This movie review is not made for kids. None of it. None of that should have taken place. So, but we're here now. No, we're live, pal. And there's a thing I'm supposed to do. Oh yeah. Party people in the place to be. What's going on? It's me. And I just left, driving out of the theater as we speak, from Toxic Avenger, the Toxic Avenger 2025 movie. And yeah, this I think is going to be a quick review. I don't know that I have much to say on it, even with telling you the story. I don't think there's much to say on this, so I don't know how long this review is going to be. I will say this: there's a couple things. I saw the original Toxic Avenger 2 nights ago. Was it 2 nights ago? It wasn't last night. It was 2 nights ago. And just to refresh, and still tremendous movie. You're not gonna go? All right, I guess not. Oh, because they went. Still a tremendous movie, and just a very funny satirical movie that is almost ubiquitous. It's almost timeless, that movie, just based on kind of the era it was made in. Like, it doesn't even feel necessarily too much in the 80s. But yeah, this one is not that. This one feels very much like a 20s movie, like a 2020s, not 1920s. I almost wish it was 2020s. You know, it's 23 skidoo. Yeah, guy, you got a guy. If Toxie had come up in a top hat to the bad guy and said, "Excuse me, sir, I challenge you to a duel." Slap, slap. Yeah. That would have been funny. No, this 2020s. This feels like a 2020s movie. There, I got a few chuckles for sure, but there were definitely some points in it that are like, okay, this feels like it was made by a committee of people who think, like, you know, Hollywood, and not Hollywood specifically, but like some people in the 2020s think, you know what I mean? I was a little nervous because Peter Dinklage is a star, and as good an actor as Peter Dinklage is, particularly in dramatic roles, outside of the screen, he's also a bit of an ass. And I kind of, every time I hear something about him, or some interview he gives, he always comes off like a bit of a self-righteous prick. And I was worried that self-righteousness wouldn't translate well to comedy, wouldn't translate well to the comedic stylings that trauma movie like Toxie would necessitate. And you could tell that there was a Peter Dinklage approved kind of version of comedy. Like, he was very self-flagellating in some aspects. Like, oh, sorry. Like, even as Toxie, he was doing it kind of a lot. And, you know, more than just like for the joke, like the occasional joke, like, this guy's this powerful guy who, you know, still has manners or whatever. Like, it felt like there wasn't too much of a change from the original guy to the new guy. The costume was great. I would say that the special effects, they did about as good a job as you're going to get these days with special effects, in that some stuff looked like it was practical. Some stuff for sure looked like, okay, we're actually doing this in the moment with an actual thing in my hand. There is an actual mop in my hand. There's an actual tire iron in my hand that I'm using, right? And then, you know, the special effects, you know, they have CG, so they're going to use CG. And I don't know. I was kind of, maybe I was spoiled because I went back and watched the original too close to watching this. I'm like, I kind of want a whole bunch of bad rubber body parts and stuff flying all over the place. You know what I mean? Like, they did the blood. They did a lot of good fake blood. But they did. I was hoping for more, you know, CG-ish, not CG-ish, but more practical looking-ish stuff. Like, there's definitely some stuff that they do with one of the main villain's heads that I'm like, I kind of would have liked like a rubber thing on. You know what I mean? I kind of like they could have got away with like a rubber head, right? Like, and I know like maybe they're trying to talk a little bit about how cheesy CG looks, but it became that more than it kind of was commentating on that, if you know what I'm talking about, when I was watching it. They changed some aspect of the story, quite a few aspects of the story, actually. They take away a lot of the raunch. They take away a lot of the gore and violence, too. Like, there's still some in it, more than you'll get on the average 2025 movie. But just watching the original Toxie, it was better. it was better in that aspect. Long story short, like, it's not about Toxie falling in love and finding a place for himself in the city. He still does some of this Toxie stuff, but it's not about that. It's a 2022, 3, 4, 5 edition of Toxic Avenger. It's not the Toxic Avenger that we grew up with, you know what I mean? And all the cheesiness and all the inappropriateness and the shock value. And like, they do the shock value. It feels like, I'm glad we're getting another comedy in theaters, but it feels like the same effect. I'm walking out of this the same way I walked out of Naked Gun, in that they did stuff. The movie looks like an actual movie. You can see where money goes, but it feels like a nuked version of, and I guess maybe nuked is a bad choice of words. It feels like a microwave version, a great value version, a name brand, a store brand version of the Toxic Avenger. Technically, it's still what it is, and you can taste a facsimile of what it was before, enough to even maybe keep you satisfied if you don't think too hard about it, and that's fine. And you know, there were chuckles, there were definitely some laughs, there were definitely some gasps, again, not the sustained laugh out loud belly laughs that I would have expected, that I even saw when I went to go see, and I'm glad I'm bringing this up so that I'm mentioning it to you. Sergeant Kabuki, NYPD. I saw that a week or so ago. So, and my review of that is that Tromaville movie, it had more of the Tromaville stuff. The only problem I had with that movie was it sagged in the middle in terms of keeping up the pace. Like, it overstayed its welcome by like 15 minutes. If it had cut out some extraneous stuff in the middle, the little flabby part in the middle where the jokes weren't as frequent and they weren't as hard, and they seemed to be going into like actually almost trying to have a semi-real story, but not really. If they cut that part out, then it would have been a better movie. Sergeant Kabuki, NYPD. Sergeant Kabuki, NYPD, I would say is probably an 8 out of $15. 8 out of your $15. Like, I definitely laughed at some points, but that part in the middle, 8.5 out of $15. That part in the middle kind of dragged it down. This one, Toxic Avenger, I'm glad I did that. So this is sort of a double review. Haha. Eat that, IRS. But the this movie, it felt too of the time. It felt too of the time. And so now I guess we'll go into some spoilers. I don't know that there's much to talk about in terms of spoilers, but there's some differences from this version and the last version. So I'm going to take my little sip, and after I take my sip, we will go into spoiler territory. Bloody hell. I always do that on that curb. I could never judge where the stupid thing is. Hey, you didn't get that on camera, did you? No, good. I meant to do that. That's special effect. So Peter Dinklage is not, he's still a janitor at this place, but it's not in the original Toxic Avenger, it's a gym. In this place, it's a toxic company, and he's not being bullied by people in the gym. He's got cancer. He's a single stepdad to a kid who is a weird introspective kid, but is also distant because his mom died, and I guess she was a performer. And so he finds out, Peter Dinklage finds out he's got a brain tumor that they honk out every time they mention exactly what it is. And he goes up to his boss and asks for money, since his boss has everything. The chemical company runs basically the whole town, and the boss is mean to him because they just want to keep dumping toxic waste. But also the boss has a boss that he has to answer to, I guess sort of a mob type figure who's paying for this venture, which seems like an extra step for no reason whatsoever, but fine. Peter Dinklage gets mad, goes back to the company, and opens one of the toxic crates that's all around them. The entire place is just toxic waste, and he dips his mop in it and then tries to mop the place up with the toxic goo, and ends up getting chased down by this biker gang, this metalcore gang or whatever that the main boss uses to do their dirty work out in the open. And they essentially kill him and dump him and his toxic mop in a pool of water. And in that pool of water with the mop, it gives Toxie all these powers, and the mop then becomes a weapon, but not like it normally is. Instead, this one is more of a torch. It's more of really just a torch more than anything else. Almost like a wand with a green glow in it. And it goes through general Toxie steps. Instead of a love interest, he's followed by this not reporter who's doing reporter stuff, but isn't a reporter, or this not PI who's doing PI stuff. They're trying to expose the company, even though everybody already knows that the company is doing all this dirty work. They pay some homages. Every time I come here, there's always somebody that's got to turn left coming out of this parking lot. As I got to turn left to get in it. They never. Anyway, so they pay homages like the town is Saint Romaville instead of Tromaville. Get it? Waka Waka. They do the fast food joint scene where Toxie's first avenging is in a joint with a blind customer, but it's nowhere near the same. This is one of the first places, like, it's not actually one of the first places. One of the first places is near the beginning when Dinklage is such a sort of pansy, and you let that part fly because you're like, okay, I can see what they're kind of doing here, and I can even maybe see what they're trying to do by casting Peter Dinklage in it as the little guy. You know, for better or worse, he's a visual representation of not even for better or worse. He's just a visual representation of a little guy, right? Great visual representation. Now, mind you, of course, you know, if they had that role for anybody else, Peter Dinklage would come in and steal a job from a little person. But yes, the Peter Dinklage is the Jay Leno of little people acting. But he, hey everybody, I'm Peter Dinklage. I want to take him. So but Dinklage comes in, and he does the same scene, but differently. So the blind lady doesn't end up being his love interest. She's just a blind lady in the thing, in the fast food joint. They do some of the graphic kills in there, right? But they certainly don't do in the original version. The blind lady was about to. How much do I care about monetization? The blind lady was about to be assaulted by the guys, like on the verge, like it was about to happen. You were about to watch it, and then Toxie comes in and saves the day. That did nowhere near happened. They just teased her a little bit, and Toxie came in and beat everybody up and kills people. The second big bad guy, I guess the guy we're supposed to really hate, is played by Kevin Bacon. Although at the end he eventually becomes the big bad, like he kills his bosses after he mutates into the main monster that Toxie has to fight and end up killing. Kevin Bacon is cool at first. Another way that it felt like it was 2024, 2025. The guys in the restaurant weren't just psychos. They were basically, I even hate to use these terms, but because they're not accurate, but extreme right wingers or whatever, people who hate anything woman. But here's the problem with that. They have these caricatures of basically people who say, oh, there's too many women and stuff, right? As a sort of in joke, I guess, against them putting the reporter lady / sidekick in this one, and literally doing the things in this movie that a lot of movie reviewers talk about when they talk about how the female character, the girl boss, is kind of taken over movies. You know what I mean? Like the reporter chick that tags along with Toxie, she does a lot of the work. She kicks a lot of the ass. She damn near saves the day multiple times. You know what I mean? And it's like, I was like, okay, but this is supposed to be Toxie's movie, right? Like, this is supposed to be his movie. But they gotta, I don't know if they're trying to soften him up because he's supposed to be this stepdad, this caring stepdad or whatever to this kid. I don't know. They kind of, to cut it short, because I'm about to wrap this thing up, I think. To cut it short, they kind of wussified the Toxic Avenger. They kind of wussified it. They took out a lot of the edginess. They CGI'd a lot of the gory parts. They made the mop just a wand, just a big old wand that he uses, basically. It's not even about his mom. They saddled him with the kid. Now, I guess the kid wasn't, the most annoying kid you've ever seen on celluloid. There's a lot of other annoying kids that you end up hating by the end that you're like, why did they put them in this movie? Like the kid in, which Iron Man was that? Was that 3? I think that was 3. Was that 3? Iron Man 3, where he was running around with the stupid kid? And whichever Iron Man, I think that was 3. I think that was 3, because 1 was fantastic. Iron Man 2 was fun. And I remember hating Iron Man 3. And I think it was because that was the one that they added the stupid kid in. So the kid in this one wasn't the worst. But there was a lot of other things happening around this kid, I suppose. The fight scenes when they had them were pretty decent. Again, when they did the special effects with the practical stuff, I like that. When they added the CG, I kind of wish they didn't. But overall, I would probably say, I'm not there's no real, and I thought, okay, I'm going to see it on the big screen. So the effects are going to be, seeing this cheesiness on screen is going to be great. And man, I could have seen it on the TV. I could have, with the CG that they used. It's not like 1990. If they had gone into the cheesiness, right? And they said that they were going to use like the worst CG and like use like Power Rangers 1995, the movie from 95 level CG, that would have been funny. If they had used like Windows 95 version of CG, that would have been funny. But they didn't. They just kind of used like general 2025 CGI, and they wussed up the characters in it, and and they were trying to make too many allusions to current. It wasn't overbearing, the allusions to like current day social stuff, but it definitely it happened. It happened a few times, and I was like, all right, can we get on with the movie though? It's like we have to sit here and it's whatever. I would say overall, and again, there's a lack of something in modern day movie comedy, right? I'm glad that they're still trying to practice the art form, but there's a lived-inness that's missing from the writers. There's an authenticity that's missing from the writers that you got from the original Naked Gun and the original Toxic Avenger movies, right? Like there's something missing. Maybe it's Coca-Cola. Maybe it's a certain beverage that can be taken multiple ways. A cola is what I mean. Maybe it's that, because the 80s had great comedies and everybody was drinking the real thing. Always Coca-Cola, yeah. Maybe that's what's missing, but something's missing. Out of $15, I would say this movie is Toxic Avenger 2025 is worth out of 15. I definitely chuckled. I didn't laugh heartily. There weren't like scenes where like the whole crowd was laughing uproariously. I got one like big laugh, but like one loud like ha. And ironically enough, I think it's when like the kid started, like at the beginning when he started to assert himself more, and then they kind of pulled back on that even. So I would say 8 out of 15. Like, it's fine, I guess. It's cool. If you just, I don't even know that I would say, there's a thing of, we're bringing comedy back. That's good. But now we need a good one. Now we need like a up the bust. I mean, like not like, but Rotten Tomatoes gave Naked Gun 82% or whatever. Stupid. No. Like a real, like universal, everyone knows this is laugh out loud comedy, really great comedy movie. When was the last one of those? Jeez, what was the last? Superbad? Jeez, what was the last? Was it Superbad? was it 22 Jump Street? What was the last like really good comedy? I don't even know if it was Wolverine versus Deadpool and Wolverine, because I don't know if the jokes would be as maybe the original Deadpool maybe, but like we need a good comedy and not superhero comedy. So take away superhero, probably 22 Jump Street, right? Probably Superbad, I guess, right? Maybe. We're just dying in the theaters laughing. And like people are like, oh yeah, this is actually funny. Like this is good comedy. Man, I think, yeah, like the mid 2000s was like 40-Year-Old Virgin, maybe? Whichever one of those came around last. But it's their efforts here, and I don't want to be like, don't go see comedies, because I'm like, okay, we'll see what this is like. But I did that twice. I did that with Naked Gun, and I did that with this one, and both times I'm coming out slightly less than satisfied with it, with the experience. You know what I mean? I expect punchier stuff. I expect better stuff. I expect sharper, crisper. You know what I'm saying? Not that new comedy, that new awkward comedy for like, excuse me. We're both trying to walk through. Oh, but I'll walk through. Okay, no, I'll stop. Oh, now we're both stopping. That extended awkwardness that they did in this movie, that kind of modern day SNL comedy, I'm looking for something else. These are good. These are efforts. These are decent starts, I suppose. But now we need the heat. Now we need the heat. Comedy writers. Now we need comedy movie writers. Now we need the heat. That's all for me. I want to know what you think down there in the comments section. Like, share, subscribe. My main thing that I'm spending a lot of time on is the Potacito podcast. We are up and running. We are posting stuff almost daily at this point. We are on a bit of a break. I just did the season finale of season 2 for the Potacito podcast. So go to Potacito Tube, PODECITO Tube if you're looking for YouTube, or go to Linktree/the Potacito and find it, or potacito.podbean.com, thepotacito.podbean.com, and that will take you to all the places where you can enjoy the Potacito. That's what I'm spending most of my time on. Let me know what you think of this movie. Also, it's really interesting seeing the reaction to the few reviews I've seen of highest to lowest before I wrap this up. First off, you're not seeing that many reviews of it. And the few that I have seen, most of them, for some reason, say that it's good, but they don't actually explain why it's good. Like, the latest one was Ari Spears. He just kept saying, oh, Denzel's the greatest actor alive. But he didn't explain any of why anything he saw on that screen was good. No one can actually explain why it was good, because it wasn't. The spoiler alert, it wasn't. But yeah, that's the end of me. I'll see y'all later. Peace out.